Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. Today we're on with PGL F1 Sunday League, and it's round 3 of 23 for the Chinese Grand Prix. So let's get straight into this session, shall we? And before we do that, guys, though, please do leave a like on the stream, as I'm just getting a few things set up still. And just subscribe to the channel so you know when we go live with all of our other races. So seems like we do have 20 drivers on track this evening for the race, which should be quite a lot of fun to watch actually. So let's have a quick look at what our grid looks like before we do get with the cars out on track. So we got VFL Aussie there, we got Ice Stream, we got Quebec, got Destroyer, we got Roy, J. Kelly, Fat Mamba, we got Bray Train, we got Liliati there, Beefy, I got Mikey Walker, Maddie there, I got Mulek, Mr. Rage, Dean, we got Ace, we got Clarky, we got Vintage, and my good old friend Milan there. So should be quite a fun race here this evening at China. So let's have a look on a few things on here, and then we're gonna get straight onto someone who's currently running on track. So let's follow on currently with Roy here, as he's currently on his outlap. So a number of drivers getting out on their outlaps right now. Actually, just quite a few, and we'll see how they all get on through here right now. I noticed we got a few more drivers getting out of the pits as well, trying to get on track and get their outlap started just to get a hot lap around. We'll see what sort of lap times we're going to be expecting here. I think it's going to be pretty competitive for the start. As you know, China is quite an interesting track, especially with the opening lap where turns 1, 2, and 3, how they are. So it's going to be interesting to see how well drivers handle that opening lap, and if we're going to be expecting to have a VSC or a safety car on the start, because definitely we're going to have some minor contact on that race start. If it's going to be some major contact, I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. It should be quite interesting though to see how well everyone gets away on opening lap. But for now, we're just going to be focused on our short qualifying session here, which is just 18 minutes long. We're already down to about 15 minutes left in the session, and we're yet to see some lap times, which should be coming around in just about a minute or so time, as drivers are making their way around the track just to get started on that hot lap right now, just to give us some interesting lap times to work with. I will see how competitive the grade is going to get at least halfway through this session, which is where most of the drivers are going to be doing their second laps or second fast laps and whatnot. So definitely we'll be seeing some pretty good laps by then, as we got quite a few drivers making lap times out here right now. Let's see where Roy is, and he's invalidated that lap currently that he's currently running on. Following on with Milan here, he's running in sector 3 right now. He's on a hot lap actually, so I'm quite interested to see. It's been a while actually since I've seen this guy race around, and I know what his lap times are usually like. So let's see where he's gonna go on the board here, and I'm interested to see where everyone else is gonna be compared to what he's about to do here, because he's usually on a whole different level. Has a few drivers have been caught up with him very recently in terms of his and how many hours that he usually puts in. So it'll be very interested to see where he goes here right now. Driving a McLaren too, so not too bad for him. Oh, and he invalidates that first try there to get a lap on the very last chicane as well, going a bit wide on the exit off of that final turn. So he's going to have to try that again, and it's not going to be on this lap. He's going to have to get back into the pits and then get another go on this. As unfortunate for him, he invalidated just before the finish line, so he's not going to be able to do another lap right there. ALR Vintage here, he's trying for a lap here right now as well, currently running in sector 2. Let's see who else is running here. We got Mulek probably on a good lap as well, as he's about to finish as well. So let's watch where to see this race report is going to be going. So he might be on an extra good lap here, as he, let's see, doesn't go too wide off of that exit there, and looks like he's going currently in P2 as VFL Aussie goes. Oh, and the VFL guys are going pretty fast. So VFL Quebec is 130.1, Aussie there 130.3, Mulek 130.6, and Dean goes 130.8. Just a few tenths different in the times so far. So VFL drivers very, very fast. I'm not sure which league that is they're from. I know it's a VFL league. But I'm not too familiar with what league it is, but these guys seem to be pretty fast. I really do need Milan to get a time in here. I want to see where he's going to go compared to these guys. Always love to do comparisons with him whenever he's racing in the league. So let's see what else we got. We got Maddie 130.8. We got David is 130.8. Just about 200 of a second time difference. And Ferrari getting off track just to get out of the way, I think they're a bit. Fat Mamba went 131.1, 156 for Vintage here, not too good of a time. Bray Train goes 133.7. Definitely going to want to try and improve upon that. Let's see who else is running. Ethan here, Little Etty here, running here and about to finish his lap as well. Going to be interested to see how fast he goes on track. And goes P4 right now, 130.7, gets all the way up there in the top 5. So far so good for our drivers with the lap times that we're seeing here right now. We got Beefy running a lap here as well. Want to see where he's about to go. Where is he at the moment? As he is getting around that yeah, he's getting around to the back straight of the track at the moment. And let's see where he's gonna go. Gonna be quite interesting. Does seem a little bit cloudy on track, guys. If I'm not being too, just having a look at what's going on exactly here. Hey Sweeney, what's up? Thanks for joining on the session, man. Enjoyed your stream earlier today where you had a China there. So let's see how this one is gonna go here. I'm very interested to see what the opening lap is gonna be like. Hey Seb, thank you for joining on the session as well, man. Good to have you guys in the chat. Oh, and Beefy goes P3 right now, 130.475. Very interesting time. So we'll see how well that's going to hold up actually. And Milan's back into the pits. Clarky in the pits. Racer Rage is out of the session, unfortunately for him. So not going to be able to make a lap time in. With 20 cars on track, it's going to be a very difficult start for him there when he does get to his race start. So let's see who else currently running right now. So I think we got Walker getting out of the pits at the moment. I'm waiting to see when Milan is going to get back out as well. We got Ace running a lap. Let's see where Ace is at the moment here. He's in sector 3 and running around that back straight, just about to finish his lap in about 20 seconds time. So we'll see where he goes on the grid as well. So far so interesting for this qualifying session. So I'm very, very competitive lap times I'm seeing here. A lot of 130s. And it's going to be interesting to see how possible it is for us to get a 129 or even a 128 in this session here, because without... Oh, what on earth just happened? I was looking at the leaderboard. That is Ace out of the session there, unfortunate. He just wrecked that Ferrari. I don't know who's paying for that. Alright, let's see who else currently running a lap. Is Mikey running a lap or did he finish his lap already? I think he finished already, but I'm not sure if he's on another lap. I don't think he's on another one. He's working what he has here right now. So Quebec currently holds on to that provisional pole start, 130.1. Very, very close to getting to the 129s there. And Aussie currently at 130.3. Beefy currently 130.4. Gets in the middle of the VFL guys, and Mulek with a 130.6. Very interesting times. We got Milan on the outlap right now. Going to be interesting to see how fast he's able to go on track here and how competitive he's going to be in this race. Been looking forward to having him race here. And yeah, so we got Ice Cream, Royk, Walker, we got Clarky, and we got Milan on outlap right now. We're going to wait for them to make their lap times in as a few drivers here right now. Let's see. Oh no, he's in the pits. Bray Train going around here as well. Might be on a lap. Nope, definitely not. So probably follow with Ice Cream overhead for just a bit and see where he's gonna go with this here. I think Clarky just began his hot lap there as well, so he might be the first of the bunch at the bottom there to make a lap time in, but we're still gonna just keep on overhead with Clarky as he goes. Ice Cream as he goes through. But yeah, guys, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen with turn 1 and 2 here. I really want to see what that opening lap is going to be like. If we're going to have any sort of major incident happen or not, I'm not sure. I was actually quite lucky. I did get onto this session like just at the point where everyone was readying up to get started with qualifying. I was streaming another race on Xbox just before this. I'll have that video uploaded for you guys in a few hours time. So we'll have a premiere maybe in the morning. Well, it'll be morning. It'll be later in the morning for you guys. It'll just be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for me when I do have that up. But yeah, I'm gonna have that video up, and by the morning we'll have it scheduled to be premiered, and have you guys have a look at how that race went. Was an excellent race. by SNRC League at Singapore was a 50% race, not 100% like the one I did on Thursday with TNRC. That was a heck of a race with difficult conditions. This was a fully dry one. Had a very interesting start actually, so you guys might be interested to see how that race actually went through. Just got finished with that. Was actually quite interesting, and we had 19 drivers started and just about 2 drivers didn't finish, so it was a great race to watch. So hopefully you guys enjoy it when we do get that up. Where is Milan on track right now? On the back straight already going around. Let's see where he's gonna go as he finishes this lap here right now. I don't know why the camera angle is like that when it goes around the back straight. I'll prefer it just be on the overhead view as we go around. But either way, it's only switching on back now. So let's see. One more turn to go, and hopefully he doesn't invalidate on this occasion. And he does. What on earth is Milan doing today? So got about 7 minutes left in the session right now. And I don't think that's legal, Milan. Not supposed to do that. I think he's supposed to drive a little bit more around before he gets around. I don't know if the game gives a penalty out for that, but depending on who's in the steward office right now, I don't know how that's allowed, but I guess it'd probably be allowed. I'm not sure. What's your view on that, guys? Because I would think he would have to probably finish that lap as he already went past the pit entrance. He just kind of just turned around and just went in, but I don't think the game will give him a penalty for that though. If it did, it'd probably give him a grid spot penalty, five place grid spot penalty or something, if it would do it for that. Sorry, Milan, gotta call it out. I've never seen someone done that before here at China, but yeah. So there is a bit of gravel on that portion of the before that pit wall there, but there used to be a gravel pit just by the pit entrance when you go to turn around, and if you do go a bit wider, you end up in that gravel pit and you kind of just get stuck there. So that usually tends to happen to drivers sometimes. I remember just it used to be very annoying actually getting onto that. Just did Walker there, the purple sector 1 there. So he's on. Looks like he's on for a pretty good lap. Might get into the top 5 there and get in between those guys up on top. So we got Dean. He's gotten up into P2 right now. It is 130.1. VFL Quebec went 129.8. I actually just noticed that. So we did get into the 129s and a pretty interesting time there as well. So Aussie currently now down into 4th position as Roy goes up for the 130.040 into 2nd place. Dean is now down into 3rd, back into the pits. Aussie down to 4th, Beefy down to 5th, Mulek down to 6th, and these guys are looking really good all the way up. We got Little Letty there down to 7th right now. He's on another out lap and going. We're waiting for Beefy to finish his lap to see where he goes. Currently Maddie down into 8th, Mikey to 9th, Fat Number into 10th, and Destroy down into 11th. So it's all pretty interesting and pretty fast lap times in here, but still gonna be interested to see how these guys do stack up when we do finish qualifying here. We got just about 5 minutes left, and that is podium position start for Walker there. That's pretty impressive. 129.5, and he gets up onto P1. So that's going to be a provisional pole start that he holds on to, at least for now. And we'll see how that holds up as we get to the next through the next 5 minutes here, because anything can happen in this session, and so thank God I didn't sleep through this session as well today. I had a bit of a hectic day yesterday, so kind of just slept a little bit late today, and barely made it on for my previous race. Did miss one race today with ISRL, unfortunate for that, but did not wake up. Sorry about that, guys. If any of them are watching, apologies. Haven't even gotten a chance to get into the Discord and talk to them as yet about that, but hopefully we'll get onto that pretty soon. Yeah, but thankfully was able to get up for the SNRC race and get onto this one just after. Quite a bit tricky actually, because SNRC was on my Xbox, and then we got PGL here on the PS4, so I had to turn the PS4 on just before I got started with that stream actually, and just to do a quick transition over. That was actually the only way possible I could think. I even started the game, started up party chat and everything, set it up and left it just like that, just to click on the invite and just start the stream. That's all I had to do. So it was interesting to just do that quick switch, because I had just about a minute to get on, and I know some people were wondering if I was going to be able to get on or not. Let's get on down to, where is Milan? I want to put some more pressure on him again. Let's see if he's able to finish this lap. Doing a proper sector 2 so far. I'm not sure if he had a proper sector 1 or not, but let's see how he finishes this lap here right now. Alright, so I think he's on the back straight and going there. I see someone said rain. Are we having rain in the session, guys? Can someone please tell me if we're having rain in the session? That's going to be a little bit interesting to work with as well. Always fun when it rains around China. I had some rain emojis posted in the Discord earlier. I wonder if that's what the cause is. Alright, so there we go. Milan goes 129.2, goes 3/10 faster. It's about 2.5 tenths faster actually than what Walker did, but still puts himself onto provisional pole for now for that restart. But we'll see how that holds up as we get further into the session. We got just about 2.5 minutes left right now in qualifying here. Following with iStream is he's about to go across the line, and let's see where he goes. Goes only 16th at 131.8, and you think that'll be a pretty good time here right now. So 129s are the time to be, and 130 if you want to be somewhere in the midfield. 131 starting at the back of the grid. Bray Train did a 132. Unfortunately, the end of the session. Mr. Rage, DNF, Ace, the end of the session, they were not able to finish. So no lap times for them. Clark is the only car currently still in the pits, needs to get out and make a lap time before this session is over with. So quite sure some of these other guys are getting out. Oh, there we have it. So we got Walker, we got Capek, Roy, Fat Mamba, all getting out on out laps right now, trying to beat the time that Milan just put in, 129.2. That's quite an impressive time. We'll see how well he does with that. We got Capek on his hot lap here right now. Let's follow him around for a bit and see where he's gonna go as this session goes through comes to a close here very, very quickly. And then we're gonna get straight into that 50% race, which is right where the most exciting part is gonna be on the race start, to see how that's gonna go. And I really do hope we don't have a VSC or a safety car. We really don't want that happening. I mean, sometimes as VSC is not too bad of a thing happening, but it does hold the field up just a bit and then get everyone still a bit close together as we get a restart going on in just about half a lap's time. But we'll see how that goes as we get to that point in the session there. So still just about a minute and 10 seconds left in qualifying here, and a number of cars getting up back on track. They're gonna be doing another lap. I don't think Milan is gonna be getting to do another lap here. He's already back into the pits and he's gonna have to stick there with his 129.2 and just hopes that actually holds up and gets him on a provisional pole start here at China. Okay, so let's see what is going on here right now. So they I didn't really pay attention if Capek actually improved this time. I was actually just checking something to the stream. But a 129.795 currently is his time, and just about a 500 of a second faster than what Ozzy did there. So some interesting lap times. We'll see how it stacks up for the race start. Dean is retired from the session so far. I think just about everyone has finished their current lap. Let's have a look at what's happening here. So this is Walker going around turn 1, 2, and 3 there and getting around. So I think that's about it for most of our drivers here. They're just going to retire off the session, whoever is finished with their laps. And we're going to get on to still running or not. Fat Member might still be running a lap. Beefy might still be running a lap. We got Walker just did a purple sector 2, but I'm not sure. He did seem quite slow in his sector 1, so I'm not sure if he's on a fast lap or not. We're just trying to get along the track to finish off this lap so we can get straight into the race session here. As a few drivers have already finished their time. Milan has already finished with a 129.2. Looks like he might be starting on pole here at China, but we'll see how well that holds up as we are getting a few drivers still yet to go across the line and just finish off whatever lap they're running on here. As majority are now going across. I haven't seen much changes happen, so let's see how that's working out. And Walker actually did a faster lap, went just about 300 of a second faster than what Milan just did. 129.268, and Milan did a 129.298. That's exactly 300 of a second faster. So that's quite an impressive time from Walker there, beating Milan for the pole start here at China. So Milan is going to start second, still on the front row, but just a little bit behind Walker. And then we got Aussie starting in the second row along with Quebec there with 129.7, 129.7 for both of them, 4.6 and 9.5. So it's about 500 of a second time difference between them. So this is kind of going to cut down to who's going to get a better race start and on when you do get to that start there on the starting grid, and just to get a better rundown into turn one, who's going to get the inside to take it and get a better time around, and who's going to have to go on the outside. We'll see how that works out. I think just that's it. Everyone's off of the session right now, and we're about to get straight into our race session. But let's go through our entire starting grid before we do get to that here right now. So let's have a look at that. So it looks like it's going to be Walker starting on pole with Milan alongside him in second place, so start second there. We got VFL Aussie starting in third position. We got Quebec starting fourth. Rourke is going to start fifth. Dean starting sixth. Fat Mamba starts seventh. Beefy starts eighth. Destroyer starts ninth. We got Little Letty starting 10th. Mikey starting 11th. Maddie starts 12th. Mulek in 13. Vintage in 14. J. Kelly in 15. We got Ice Cream starting 16. Berry Train there in 17. Mr. Rage in 18. Ace starting 19. And Clark is starting down there in 20. Three drivers unable to make lap times in the qualifying session. Unfortunate for that, but let's see how our race start is about to go here, guys, because I think it's going to be quite interesting, especially for a race start of China. Remember, guys, this is round 3 of 23 for PGL F1 Sunday League here. Alright, guys, looks like it's going to be a wet start for the Chinese Grand Prix because we're on intermediate tires right now, as everyone is now getting started with their formation lap. This is going to mess up the race strategy for a lot of drivers, I can tell you right now. I'm sorry if you're hearing a bit of noise, guys. I'm just having a look out the window to see what's going on with the weather right now. We're expecting a bit of snow where I am right now. Some sort of winter storm coming through, so I'm just having a look what's happening. Alright, guys, so yeah, back onto the session right now. Why was Ace disqualified from the formation lap? Ace, what did you do, dude? What did you do? Alright, so he's going to disqualify. He's going to be starting back right there in 19 still. And let's get a few stats on screen before we do get started with this race. And apologies once again if leaderboard does get mixed up on the start of the race. I know that crap still happens. And as I said it to everyone before, it happened both on the PS4 side and on the Xbox side. I'm not sure if it happens on PC as well with the game. But it's annoying as crap, man, honestly. I don't know why they can't fix that. Alright, so we know everyone's going to be starting on intermediate tires. We don't even need to put that on. And we're going to leave that off. I think we just need our map. We just need that, and that's about it. DRS is going to be disabled here, so no point really having the telemetry on to keep an eye on that. They're going to be using a bit of their overtake whenever they deem possible, so we'll see how well that goes. And what happened with Milan and Aussie at front? I think something happened between the two of them, which is why they're disqualified from the formation lap. Hopefully neither of them took any damage. We'll see how well this restart is about to go here. As we are on the back straight coming around right now with most of our cars coming, we can see Walker just weaving around, trying to get some heat into those intermediate tires there right now, and leaving a very interesting pattern on track, as you can have a look behind. And yeah. So just about to get around to the race start, guys. We got a full-on grid of 20 drivers about to get started with the Chinese Grand Prix here for PGL. So expecting a very, very great race start. All right, so already a bit of a drama between drivers in the session here, between Ozzy and Milan there. So definitely going to be an interesting race start from the two of them. We'll see how that goes. They seem to be okay with each other, but we'll see how that goes. I usually keep this card on for just this reason. As we're about to get started here, guys, with the Chinese Grand Prix, so let's ignore that for now. And I think the last card, Clarky there, is about to get into his grid spot, and then we're going to have the green flags go across, and we should be ready to go with our 5 lights here, and let's see how that's going to go. I'm not sure if the entire race is going to be wet, guys. I'm assuming we're probably going to start to dry out maybe halfway through the race, but we'll see how it goes. Either that, or we're going to start to have heavy rain and have to go on to full wet. So we'll see how that plays out as well, as we're just about to get started here right now. And let's see between Walker, Milan, Ozzy, and maybe the rest of the grid who gets a better start with the run down into turn 1. And we're going to have a look at that right now. Let's see, Walker seems to have gotten a pretty good start. And where is Milan coming? He has Capek getting by him already and gets up into second. He's down into third place. We got a 3-way battle going on. Oh, we got a few cars going wide. Dean and someone else. I'm really trying to keep an eye and see what's happening with the cars as everyone goes around. It's going to be a bit difficult to see as well, guys, with conditions as they are on track. It's very wet, a lot of spray coming off the back of these cars. So far, so good. Everyone seems to have gotten through pretty well. Maybe some minor incidents, some minor contact between cars, but so far so good. Everyone's gotten through. Let's get back out front and see what's happening with the battle there so far. So let's see. We got Walker still leading the race. Capek is now up into second. Milan down into third. Dean taking fourth position going through. Rourke in fifth. Beefy running in sixth. Ozzy running now in seventh position all the way down there. Fat Mama there down in eighth and trying to get by Ozzy at the moment. And lots a few more positions as well. Little Letty getting very close to Ozzy as well. Let's see how they're all going to play through. Mr. Rage all the way down in the back in 20 position. He has a bit of time to catch up. No VSC, no safety car. Look at pit stop strategy. Might be a one stop if we're doing full intermediates at the end of the race, or maybe a two stop strategy, which I assume most driver will try to do. We got Quebec trying to keep up with Walker here right now, and Beefy trying to keep up with Roy, and a bit of a gap starting to form between Milan and Dean. 1 second that gap is. And Quebec seems to have gained some time off of Walker there as well. We're following on with Quebec right now. He's chasing down, gained some time on Milan, he's chasing down Walker for lead of the race. Not sure how close he's going to get. They're going to have to watch their braking zones as they get into some of these corners here. And be a bit careful as well as they get on through. We got Maddie about to get past Liletti here. I think he's trying to go around the outside. And no, nothing gotten up that position. Destroyer and Roy fighting it out down at the back there as well for P10. Looks like Roy might have gotten up a position. We're not sure as yet. But there are going to be quite a few switches happening as we continue on through in this race here right now. We got a bit of a mix-up grid already as our leaderboard gets crazy right now. We're just going to ignore that for the time being. And follow on with Maddie here, chasing down Lil Letty for that position. I think that's going to be for 6th position, not for 7th. As it's just a bit mixed up. I don't know how Beefy got all the way up in front. Is that even real there right now? Nope, it is not. As you can see, Beefy is running in the middle here. Oh, he's back where his position should be right now. Alright, so getting back out front. Let's see what the gaps are like here at the moment. So far, so good between majority of our drivers. A bit of a close gap between most of the back of the grid at the moment. And we're trying to keep an eye and see how that's working out, especially out in front. We got a few close gaps there as well in the midfield. And yeah, Quebec is trying to keep within a second of Walker right now. Of course, no DRS advantage for doing that, but just trying to keep as close as he can and hoping to get that overtake done as soon as possible here. I think Milan has lost just a bit of time. He's trying to keep the gap under a second as well, but his gap is currently about 1.1 seconds. So having some difficult time maybe in the conditions on track is what's holding him back just a little bit here right now. But we'll see how that plays out as we get further into the race. It's a 28 lap race, guys. It's going to be fully wet for now. Well, mid-wet I will say, because we're on intermediate tires, and we'll see if it starts to dry out in just a bit, and that's going to force drivers to take a pit stop and get onto the dry tires, and they're going to have to determine when it's actually safe to do it. We got Destroyer about to get past Roy here on the inside. He goes up into 10th position. That is Roy down into 11th right now. Lil Levy and Maddie probably switching a position here right now, or Ozzy losing position down into 8th he is. Everyone going a little bit wide on that exit there of the final turnaround to get on the pit straight. Let's see where Maddie is at right now. He's getting very, very close to Little Letty, trying to get up a position on him at the moment. We got Capek and Walker out front. That gap is still under half a second, and we got to keep an eye on to see what's happening. Milan has broken his gap down to under a second right now, trying to get it under half a second if he can, and trying to put the battle out with Walker and Capek for the lead of the race. He has to get by Capek at first, though. With conditions a bit difficult right now, it's not going to be as easy as he usually would to get an overtake done as well. So these guys are going to have to be a little bit extra careful in terms of their braking zones are all around this track, just to keep the race as clean and safe as possible right now. And let's see what's up. Walker's falling down the order. He might have had a bit of an incident and is continuing on right now. I think he might have had a bit of a spin. I'm not sure what happened. Walker is down a few of the positions right now, all the way down to P5. He's lost the lead of the race, and that's not good on his end. Doesn't have any damage on his car, so I think he just made a bit of a mistake of one of the turns, and he's going to continue on. Capek now takes over the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix and continues on through with a gap of about 1.4 seconds off of Milan, who you can see coming all the way down in the back there on the back straight. And he's trying to catch up as much as he can. Dean now running in third, 3 seconds behind Milan, so has some time to catch up. Beefy now running fourth, and has about 2-second gap to Walker behind him. Of course, they are teammates, so let's see how this works out. If Walker does get back close to Beefy, they might actually do a switch of those Red Bulls for Walker to get back out and lead the race there if he can catch back the guys up in front. We'll see how that works out. Let's get down to the rest of the field right now. So we got Little Etty just about under a second behind Walker. He's trying to keep that gap as close as possible, but seems to be losing about a tenth or two already. And Walker takes a penalty now, under some pressure and a bit frustrated in this race with losing so much positions already on lap 4 only. So far we still have all 20 drivers in the race, which is still exciting to see and going through. We got currently Maddie there running P7 at the moment. Has a very close gap to Little Etty, who is currently in 6th, losing time from Walker there right now, though Walker's trying to keep up with his teammate as much as he can at the moment, and they're going to continue. Clarky there all the way up into 15th position. He started down there in 20th, and it's exciting to actually see him get up quite a number of positions right now. We got a close gap between most of our cars here right now, following on with Roy, who's very close to Destroyer and looking to get by. Got Fat Member and Ozzy and Maddie all in front of him, so a train of cars in the midfield at the moment, all fighting it out for a position here. We're going to keep an eye on them to see how this continues through, because out front we have just a bit of a gap starting to build between our race leaders out front. Capek leading by 1.1 second right now, so Milan seems to be catching him by a few tenths a lap, and definitely is going to try and put the battle out towards him. I think Walker was having a better chance out front, keeping the lead away, but he's lost some positions. He's trying to get back up right now. 1.6 second the gap is to his teammate, and let's see how that works out for him. We still are following on with Rourke right now. He's trying to keep up with Destroyer as much as he can, and that gap is getting a bit closer here right now between the Williams and that AlphaTauri. So let's see how this works out as they approach down the back straight they go. And let's see, Maddie's getting very close as well to Little Etty there, and that's happening a little bit out front. As you can see, Fat Mambo was trying to go on the inside of Ozzy as well there. We're having a pretty good view from the back here, so we're trying to keep a eye on that, but we're now getting a very blurred vision side of view from Roy's car because of the spray coming off of everyone out in front. Let's get back on the overhead view and see what's happening. Clarky there trying to get up another position on Mikey, but that's his teammate actually not able to get that position up as yet. So we're going to continue on through that. Beefy there getting under half a second behind Dean, who is currently running in third position. We're trying to look if Mikey's about to lose a position here or not. They're taking it as wide as possible around this turn in the wet conditions, trying to keep their car from going off track. And let's get back out front. Beefy has gotten up the position from Dean here. He's gotten up into P3 and put Dean down to P4. His teammate is now going to be under a second behind him, trying to get back up there. Walker is going to push as much as he can to try and get past the Renault of Dean there. So we're going to keep an eye on this battle as it continues on. Milan actually catching Capek for the lead of the race right now. So far, only 2 drivers with penalties. You got Walker with a penalty and Ice Cream with a penalty there as it is at the moment. Capek and Milan's gap is still under a second as these two continue on through. Walker has gotten by Dean right now. He's up into 5th place. Up into 4th place, and puts Dean now into 5th. And yeah, he's now back behind his teammate. The gap is about 1.2 seconds up to his teammate there. So both Red Bulls working their way to fight it back up onto the podium here right now. Beefy already back on 3rd position. He's onto the podium position here. Now remember, we do have pit stops that are going to come into play a little bit further into this race as we continue on through, and conditions are still difficult on track. It's still required for these intermediate tires right now. It's not starting to dry out as yet as much as you would like for drivers to even try to go onto dry tires right now. They're going to have to continue on with this as it is at the moment here, and it looks like Destroyer and Rock are fighting it out down in the back here. Let's have a look what's happening with the two of them as Destroyer gets a bit twitchy off of that exit. Rock is actually pretty close by and might be looking to get up into 10th place right now. Let's see if he's able to get that position up or not. So far holds it off into 11th and just plays a bit of a waiting game, just trying to follow him and keep that gap as close and tight as possible as they continue on through right now. Mercedes guys down at the back, 14 and 15. They're keeping a gap of 1.4 seconds between each other. Fat Mamba out front goes a little bit wide on turn 1 and still trying to keep it there in 9th position right now. Out front, we're still following with Milan and Capek trying to fight it out for the lead. The gap needs to go under half a second actually for that battle to continue on through as we're following the Rock right now. Still chasing down Destroyer for 10th position. Let's see if he's going to be able to get that position up or not. We are also following with Little Etty and Matty there for 6 and 7. See what's happening with the two of them. Of course, we got Aussie and 8 trying to fight with that position as well. So, as I said, it's a bit of a train between most of our cars through the grid as we continue on through with lap 6 of 28 right now. And looks like Rourke might be pushing on through as much as he can. Fat Mamba getting on the grass just a bit as Rourke looks like he's going to push on the inside and does do it. Let's see if he's getting that position. Nope, he's not getting it now. He's going to have to take the inside on the next turn. Oh, and has a bit of a mishap. Barely saves that car from going off track and continues on through in 11. Going to have to catch her back by a few tenths to get back and try and get back that position there. Walker and his teammate fighting it out up front. They're going side by side, I think, a bit. And Walker gets up into 3rd position right now. I think they might have done a switch. I'm not sure. So Red Bull might have switched cars and put Walker up in the 3rd. Beefy down to 4th. That's going to be a 10-second gap for Walker to catch up to Milan right now and get that fight on for 2nd place. He does still have that penalty to work with. Let's see if it's a 3-second or a 5-second penalty. It's just a 3-second penalty. So far so good in this race. We got all 20 drivers still in it and still in for the fight to win it here. And let's see what's happening on the back. We got Mulek into the pits there right now. Gap is pretty close between quite a few drivers. Let's have a look at that. What is Mulek doing in the pits? Is he going on to a next set of intermediates? And does look like he is. So on lap 7 right now, looks like he's doing a wing change as well. So he might have taken some damage. This is why he chose to pit right now, because I assume these intermediates should not be burning out so quickly. They should be able to last quite a few more laps before actually doing a pit stop, because according to our pit stop strategy, what came up on the start, it should be possible to do a one stop here with intermediate tires if you're going to do the entire race on those tires. We're going to see how that works out for our drivers. Following on with Milan still right now, he's still chasing down Capek for the lead of the race. That gap is just about 0.7 of a second, and it's kind of staying a bit constant going through the lap by lap so far, because it's not going over a second, it's not going under half a second. So Milan actually doing a pretty good job keeping up with Capek. Capek having some difficulty trying to get away from Milan, build a gap of over a second right now. So we'll see how this battle continues on through, as both of them will have to do a pit stop at some point in the race. We'll see what changes at that point, and if anyone makes a mistake or not, and who has the fastest pit crew. I think that's going to be a bit dependent on that as well. So Beefy just about a second away from his teammate right now, who is about 11 seconds behind Milan. He's trying to catch up as much as he can, but having a bit of a difficult time. Going out to Maddie there in P8. He's trying to keep up with Aussie there, who has about a half a second gap to the car in front of him, which is Little Letty there. So trying to keep on the overhead view with these three cars as they continue on through here. And it's quite an interesting view from the front wing. So a bit of a close gap, a bit of a trade between these three cars as they go on through. That's Little Etty, Aussie and Maddie there, and they're going to fighting on for 6th position, I would say, because they're all pretty close together still and going. Milan still keeping his gap as constant as he can right now. Clarky there has Vintage behind him. That car is within a second right now. We'll see how that goes on through as Ozzy is catching up to Liletti more and more, and he might be looking for a gap to work with and get by if he can. Trying to take the inside a little bit and trying to maybe to get a bit of a better exit off of that corner. Alright guys, if you are joining on the stream, thank you guys for joining on, and please make sure to leave a like on the stream there guys. It takes literally less than half a second, 100 of a second just to click on like if you can, and I appreciate it because it does help us out a lot. Oh, and there goes Ozzy trying to get by Liletti right now, and them both getting a little bit twitchy off that exit, and it does look like they're still going side by side, and let's see who's going to have the inside getting through. Looks like Ozzy gets up into 6th position. That's Etty down to 7th right now, and Matt is still running there in 8th. And let's see if Etty is able to get that position back. He's still pushing on through to get it through. I might try to take the inside. Does try to take the inside off of turn 1 and try to keep it on the line, going behind Ozzy right now. Keep a constant gap as they get on through, and hopefully has a better exit to push through. And he's taking much more of an inside line and trying to push through right now and get back on the power here. And Maddie as well, very close behind him, so a bit of a battle between them still. Gap is still kind of constant out front between Capek and Milan, and Walker and Milan as well. It's less than a second between Capek and Milan, and about 11.3 seconds now between Milan and Walker. Beef is still about 1.3 seconds behind his teammate. Most of our gaps are remaining a bit constant, just to go to show how well these guys are driving, that they're not even able to get away from the car behind them, and that car behind does have some difficulty breaking the gap down. So we do have that happening. We're just trying to keep up with this as much as possible. Just having a look at what other gaps we have down at the back here. We got Maddie getting much closer now to Etty here, and he's going to try to get up to position to 7th if possible for him. So still a close gap between Ozzy, Etty, and Maddie here. Out front, our gap is now just over a second actually between Capek and Milan. So I guess Capek is starting to gain some time off of Milan there. But this might all change if this track starts to dry out. That's definitely going to change the race strategy for a lot of drivers here. But we'll see how that works out, because at the moment it's still raining just a bit, but it does seem to have eased off a little bit in terms of the intensity of the rain right now. It's not as bad as when we started the race, so it might start to dry out as we approach the halfway point in the race, and maybe the end of the race might be going on to dry tires. We'll have a look at how that works out, but it does seem like it's heading to that point right now, because I don't think it's going to be raining all the way through. And we got Bray Train just went past Mulek there for 16th position. I think Mulek went a bit wide, which is what caused that to happen. The gap was actually pretty close, so him going a bit wide kind of caused him to lose that position, and he's now pushing back to try and get past Bray Train back for 16th position, and let's see if he's going to be able to get that position up or not. And does take the inside, and looks like he might be getting by up into 16th. He goes again, hopefully does not go wide, and looks like he gets a pretty good line around turn 1 and gets her back his position up into 16, puts Bray Train back down to 17. We got Clarky all the way down to 18th position right now running. Ice Stream down in 19, Ace running in 20th, about 23 seconds behind Ice Stream there. And I'll go on to Mikey here running in 13th position with Jay Kelly in front. So Jay Kelly just about half a second in front of him. We'll see how that battle progresses on through, as we have Roy and Fat Mamba just in front of these two guys fighting it out for 10th position there as well. And we still got Maddie and Little Etty pretty close together. We can see they are there, 0.3 of a second that gap is. And let's just have a look at what's happening with them there. So we got Maddie might be forcing to try and get a move here. Let's see if he's going to push on through. Ozzy's still just in front of Maddie as well. Sorry, Little Etty in front of Maddie there. About half a second in front, so still hasn't gotten away too much as yet. We got a few more penalties handed out now, 4 drivers with penalties so far, as we continue on with lap 11 of 28 in the Chinese Grand Prix here. And a wet session we have from the start of the race coming to this one. We started on intermediates and we're still running on the intermediate tires. The rain has seemed to have eased off just a little bit right now, so it's going to start to approach the point where these drivers are going to have to start to think about pit stop strategy right now, and they might be holding off, trying to hold off their pit stops until the rain eases up enough to go straight to the dry tires instead of doing a pit stop for next set of intermediates and then doing another stop for dry tires and losing even more positions, because I'll tell you right now, drivers that do hold off are definitely going to be getting much better of an advantage. Of course, that is going to be less of an advantage and more of a disadvantage if the rain does not ease up anytime soon, because those tires are going to start to go off in just a bit. They're going to have to do a pit stop somewhere around lap 14, I would assume here. These tires are going to last up to, if they want to push it a little more, I think they might be lasting up to lap 16 or maybe even 17. Depends on how much they can actually push on these intermediate tires here right now. We'll see how that goes. As currently they've done about 10 laps, going to 11 laps on the tires here right now. We got iStream has retired into the pits right now. He's out of the session. That's 19 drivers remaining here right now. We're going to follow on through with them still and see how this works out, because a bit of a gap building between most of our drivers here, and I think this is about going to change if we do have the rain start to go away right now, which does seem to be kind of happening a little bit here. So we're still following the gap that we have. We have Walker into the pits right now. Let's have a look what's happening. Is he changing onto a new set of intermediate tires or not? It's still actually raining a bit. Well, I'll call it a light drizzle for now. And he's going onto a fresh set of intermediate tires, because it does not look like this rain is going anywhere anytime soon. It might be a cutoff point for the rain about 70 to 75% through the race, which is not adequate enough to go onto the dry tires for the forced pit stop. So Little Etty as well into the pits, Fat Mama into the pits as well. They're all going back to a new set of intermediate tires right now. And let's go back with where they come out. Walker came out in 9th position here right now. So fresh intermediates on for him. Let's see how that's going to work out. He's now need to catch up to Roy, who's currently running about 2.9 seconds now in front of him. Let's see how fast he's going to be able to break that gap down. We got Capek still leading the race. Milan still running in second. Beefy is now currently up into 3rd place and running there with Dean down into 4th. So Beefy still has about 14.4 seconds to catch up to Milan. Milan has still about a second to get rid of before you can even try to get past Capek for the lead of the race. And I think those two are going to be watching upon each other to do their pit stops out front. So we'll see how that works out. But it does look like it might be a P1, P2 between the two of them. I'm not sure who's going to be P1, who's going to be P2. We'll see how it works out when we get to that point further into the race. We're on lap 12 right now of 28 and going. Just about 45% into the race, 46% into the race and going through. It's still raining. We got a few cars did pit stops and went on to a new set of intermediate tires. The racing line has dried out quite a bit on track here, but it's still a light drizzle coming down. Especially on the back straight here. It's still raining here, and it's not going away as yet. I see like some sunshine is trying to get out of those cloud up above there, those rain clouds. So we'll see how that works out. But even if it starts to dry out, it needs to start to dry out right now before these guys are able to do. Oh, we got both Milan, both race leaders are into the pits right now. And let's see, they both went on to a new set of tires. Dean now takes over the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's just about let's see how far away is he. He's under a second actually in front of Capek here right now, with Milan just behind him. So that's not going to be too good on his end, because those tires are now going to start to go off on him just a bit. And we're going to put tires on to see how many laps all everyone is currently running on their tires here. Actually, let's bring on telemetry now as well, because if we are going to get a dry track very soon, we might want to see how DRS is being used and how much ERS these cars have. Now we know ERS is used a bit differently by the car when it's a wet conditions on track, so we'll see how this works out. So currently we still got Dean to pit, Destroy still has to pit, Rourke still has to pit, J. Kelly still has to pit, Mr. Rage has to pit, and Bray Train down in the back still yet to do their one pit stop. One mandatory pit stop, that is. And I think we got Milan getting on the grass just a little bit down in the back there. Let's see how that's working out for him. He's getting very close to Dean to get by him, up into going to second place right now, trying to push through on the inside. And let's see if he's going to get that position up here right now. Looks like he's going to get a good slipstream to work with. And getting onto the side of the track, you're trying to use the slipstream as much as possible. Hopefully he didn't take any damage of that minor contact. And now he's going to go side by side with Dean and take over second place. He's going to try and get that overtake down on the inside. And looks like he might have gotten that done. So that's Capek up into the lead of the race once again. Milan back up into second. Now Dean is now down into third place. And Ozzy behind him, they're in fourth. Destroyer in 5th. They all have to pit, and that's going to put Walker back straight up into 3rd place when they do decide to do their pit stop here. Of course, Walker is about less than a second behind Destroyer there right now. He's going to try and get that position up either way. I don't think he's going to be wasting time. Doesn't want to be losing time to Milan and Capek out front at the moment here. Milan has lost a bit of time behind Dean. We're trying to get that overtake down on the back straight. He's about a second behind Capek right now, so he's going to try and break the gap down as fast as he can. We're on the halfway point of this race right now, lap 14 of 28, and it's still raining here. It's still a light rain coming down. It's only on the racing line of the track. It's just a bit drier, and these tires are still working pretty well, so I don't think it's going to be dry tires right away for these guys. We might be talking about that when we go maybe between lap 18 to 20 on this race. We'll see if it starts to dry out between then, because we might be talking about going on to dry tires to the end of the race if it gets to that point to start to dry out, because this rain is not going away pretty fast. It's going away at a very slow pace, so we're going to see how this works out for drivers here. As we go on through, we're trying to follow when Dean is going to pit there, and we got Walker already went by Destroyer. He's now 5.8 seconds behind who is it, Aussie there, for 4th place. So we're waiting to see when those two decide to do their pit stops. Majority of drivers are already taking pit stops, and they're continuing on through with a new set of intermediate tires, which they went on to here. Walker has that 1 3-second penalty, which is going to cost him a little bit in this race, I think. It depends what sort of gap he has to the car behind him. His teammate is currently in 7th place, took pit stop already as well. And Milan just took the fastest lap, so he's doing pretty well out front between himself and Capek. They're trying to keep up and keep that gap going. And we got Dean into the pits, and Aussie now takes over 3rd place. Walker is going to be moving up into 4th, and yeah, the pit lane is now open for majority of the pit stops. So what guys have been pitting either way. Yeah, so that puts Walker up into 4th place. That's going to put Destroyer up into 5th. And Beefy goes up into 6th place right now. He's about 2.5 seconds behind Destroyer, who does have to pit. So let's see how that's going to work out. Maybe they'll be pitting on the next lap. We're not sure as yet. Brayton will have to do a pit stop there, I think, as well, because he's done 13 laps on his tires. I think he took an early pit stop in this race for damage to his car at the start of the race there on lap 1. And Roy pitting already. He's getting out back pretty soon. We still got Mr. Rage as well to do a pit stop, and Destroyer and Aussie. I think those are the 3 drivers left to do a pit stop for mandatory pit stops here. So we'll see how that's going to work out here. And let's get back on board with Walker right now, having a look on what the track is currently like. So yeah, as we said, the racing line has dried out just a bit, but just not enough to go onto the dry tires. I really don't think it's ready for that. It's still some light rain, some light drizzle on track, and it's going to be dependent upon drivers right now to determine whether the track is ready for dry tires. And I don't think it is, because majority of this track is still wet. But it is a little bit difficult in terms of traction, I guess, for most of these drivers here. We got Beefy getting very close to Destroyer right now, about to go side by side with him and along the back straight and take over 5th place behind his teammate. And Destroyer is actually coming back at him, so let's see, maybe a little bit of late braking might actually get this done, and that puts Beefy up into 5th place right now. Destroyer back down to 6th right now. He's going to have to think about doing his pit stop. Let's see if he does go into the pits on this occasion here, and does actually do that. So he's getting into the pits there right now and getting his pit stop over with. We still got Aussie here, who is about 4 seconds ahead of Walker. He still needs to do a mandatory pit stop. Well, actually, sorry, not a mandatory pit stop. We did do we did start on the wet tires, so it does not have to, but he's still going to have to do a pit stop. 15 laps on those intermediates. They're not going to last to the end of the race, so obviously he's still going to have to do a pit stop at some point in the race. Does depend when he does decide to do this, but he will fall along a few positions when he does decide to do the pit stop, because he does have not too much of a gap between most of the cars behind him. So yeah, I forgot about that for a second, guys. So now a wet start does mean that they're not required to do different tire compounds, and doesn't have to do one mandatory pit stop with it, but they will have to do a pit stop at some point, because 15 laps on the tires. They're probably going to make it maybe up to lap 18, 19, and then really start to go off on him. We'll see how that works out. So gap is about 3.1 seconds to Ozzy out front from Walker there, and he's losing time right now. Milan losing a bit of time to Capek there as well, who is about 1.2 seconds ahead. So Milan looking like he's going to be getting second place in this race, and he might have to settle for it if he's not able to break the gap down and get by. Not sure if he's having difficulty in the wet conditions or this is what's happening here right now. We'll see how it goes when we do have a dry race, if he's performing better than this. But so far so good for everyone racing. We still got 19 drivers in this session, even though a wet race start, and wet up to at this point in the race, we still got 19 drivers in. Ivestream is the only driver who's retired in from the session. He retired in the pits actually, so not like he crashed out or whatever, so it's still not too bad. Gap is now down to about 2.2 seconds actually, I would say. And let's go on down to Maddie here, and Little Etty. Gap is a bit close between a few cars down here. What's happening here with J. Kelly, Little Etty, and Maddie here as well. A bit of a struggle between a few of them, I think. Getting through turn 1. Might have had a bit of incident, I'm not sure. Mr. Rage and J. Kelly here. 15 laps on those tires. They're going to have to pit at some point here. Those tires are really going to start to go on them. I'm not sure how well they're nursing them, but those tires look like they really actually need to be changed. So we'll see how well this works out for them. VFL Oz is still on his tires, and there goes Maddie, gets up into 8th place, gets by J. Kelly. Not too much he can do with conditions as they are to push on through, and has Little Etty coming in 10th behind him, trying to get back on the power right now, and trying to keep those tires from overheating, and just have to keep them on the wet as much as possible, because the racing line is really starting to dry out here right now. So he's about to lose 9th place there, J. Kelly, if he's not careful, because we had a Little Etty taking the inside, and looks like he's got them. Oh, got a little bit twitchy actually, but still got the position up into 9th place he goes right now. So a great overtake from him, getting by. We're going to go back up here to Walker right now, who is chasing down Ozzy for 3rd position in this race. And it might be a switch between the Red Bulls for finishing positions, depending on what the gap is. It's about 5.2 seconds right now, which means Walker will finish right there in 4th if he does go this way. But he looks like he will be able to get up in the 3rd position, because Ozzy will have to do a pit stop and get off those tires, because they're getting pretty old right now. So I don't think he's going to be able to push all the way to the end. And we got Walker already trying to get that overtake done, going around the outside. And let's see if he's gotten that done. Still pushing on through, side by side they go. Not sure if there's any minor contact happening there or not. Maybe a bit of minor contact, but they're still going on through. Into lap 18 we are right now, so just about 10.5 laps left in this race to work with. And that's going to be the end. Milan has gotten his gap back to under a second right now. Walker is now up into 3rd place. Ozzy down to 4th. Has about a 4.6 second gap to the car behind, which is Walker's teammate there. Beefy does the next Red Bull. And he's going to be coming up very quickly on him as well, because with those tires being 17 laps, they're definitely going to be having some trouble getting full grip on track, being worn off just a bit as well. Got Maddie there and Mr. Rage. About half a second the gap is between the two of them, so they're still fighting all through for that position. And Beefy has already gotten up a position right now, as Ozzy is having some difficulty on track apparently here, keeping these tires going right now. So definitely he should be thinking about taking a pit stop right now. He's gonna have to make it around, and he's having definitely having some trouble with grip air right now, as we can see. And we got a yellow flag, I think, for him, because his car is going a little bit slower than needed on track. And he's just trying to get his car to the pit lane right now, I think, because those tires are done for. Yep, they are, and that's him into the wall, losing his front wing now, so he's now going to have to do a wing change as well. He's trying to safely get back on track, and he might have a puncture, I'm not sure. Does he have a rear puncture right now? Yep, he has a rear puncture. The tires have given up on Ozzy. He has a rear puncture right now, and he's going to have to nurse that car all the way back into the pits right now. J. Kelly still running on his tires, so he's nursed his tires a little bit better than what Ozzy did. And he's still going on them. And let's see if he's going to be pitting on this lap here or not. Does have Destroyer lagging a bit, getting ahead of him there right now. He's going to want to try and be careful on that pushing and that power there as well. because he's about to get into the pit lane here right now, and actually doesn't pit. He's still continuing on, going into lap 18 on those tires. Mr. Rage on 18 laps with his intermediate tires as well. How are they pushing on through so much when Ozzy has a puncture on his? I'm not sure how he got that puncture, if the tire just reached 100% and gave up, or if he just maybe clipped a car or something. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, that's how he got that puncture, but I think those tires officially gave up on him because he was pushing pretty hard on them. Mr. Rage here is going to have to be careful with his tires, and who else is on? Jay Kelly is on 18 laps with his tires as well. We finally have Ozzy into the pits. He's going to have a wing change, going to medium tires right now. Is the track dry enough for those? Actually, the drizzle has gone away, so there is that possibility that we said it might start to dry out enough for dry tires around lap 20. It's on lap 19 right now, so if a car does choose to go on the dry tires, I think it will be the time to do it. He has no choice. He has to go into the pits and change tires either way, so you might as well go into the dry tires and hope that the rest of the race continues on this way, because the track is now going to start to dry out pretty significantly. It's actually drying out pretty quickly, as we can see here on the view from Mr. Rage's car. And I think that's what he's been holding out for. He didn't want to pit on those tires and do 2 pit stops, so he's going to do 1 stop here and go straight on to the dry tires. And we might have DRS come online pretty soon if that's the case. He's trying to keep on the wet portion of the track right now to keep the tire displacing water, to keep him from overheating right now. Because we can see those tires as they are. They're definitely going to start to overheat on him if he's not able to keep them up to temperature at this point. And has Maddie coming with fresher mediums behind him. Let's see if that's working out. They're still keeping out. They're not going in right now. That is going to be 19 laps on those intermediate tires right now. Going into lap 20 of this race. And we're following our Maddie right now as he's about to get by Mr. Rage. Those tires are so old that I don't know if he's going to be able to keep that car ahead. And yeah, Maddie is looking to get ahead right now, really pushing on through. And looks like Crocky has gotten by Destroy there for 9th position. And we're waiting for Maddie to see if he's able to get by up into a position here right now. We got Jay Kelly into the pits. He's gone onto the soft tires. Let's have a look at these guys on the dry tires. What's happening on track? Let's go on to VFL Aussie here. He's actually going pretty well on the dry tires here right now. Goes a bit wide here right now, so a little bit cold, I would say. A little bit trouble getting it up to temperature with the way the track is right now. It's still a bit wet, so it's gonna be he's gonna have to keep those tires on the racing line as much as possible and goes through on that way. Let's see if he's able to keep the tires up to temperature and go on through. We got Jay Kelly on the soft tires right now. They're definitely going to have some trouble with this, because I think about lap 22 or so, they may 22, 23 is where you might be needing the dry tires, but I think most of our cars actually seems to have some trouble going, so it doesn't seem like it's ready for the dry tires as yet. I think intermediates are still working out pretty well between these guys here. Let's have a look out front. We got Walker into the pits right now. Might be going onto the dry tires, because lap 22, 23 definitely might be needing those. And he is going onto the soft tires right now. It's going to be a little cold. It's going to be a little hard to get him up to temperature. He's serving a penalty at the moment, I think. Oh no, he's back out. He's back out. My bad on that. Beefy is into the pits there right now. That was what the switch was about. So the Red Bulls double stacked and they're getting back out. A bit of a gap between them, so that kind of worked out pretty well. We get Capec and Milan out front. They're still running in with their intermediate tires as it is right now. Let's have a look if they're having any trouble or not. These two have just about a second of a gap between them. So you got quite a few cars are now starting to go onto the dry tires. So it definitely looks like it's the time in the race for that. So we were kind of right about it. Lap 20, 21. Actually, 21 would have been the best lap to go onto the dry tires here and get as much grip as possible. It's still going to be a bit difficult for most cars to get these tires up to temperature right now. So currently we have Capec still leading the race. Milan still running in second. Maddie now running in third. Little Etty now running in fourth. Beefy did a stop running in fifth. Clarky now taking away fifth position from him. So let's have a look what's happening down there. Is it because of the tire situation here that's happening? Let's have a look right now. Because even if that's the case, the track is drying out a bit more. So and Walker's retired from the session. What's happened to his car? I'm not sure if his car still is on track or not. And we might have a situation with that there. And there's his car on the side of the track there right now. So Walker is out of the race. He was on the soft tires. I wonder if those tires gave him some trouble and he just ended up in a wall. And Beefy seems to have some trouble on the soft tires here right now as well. So the intermediates are still working better than the soft tires right now. Definitely so. You can hear that wind going through. Let's see if these guys are going to be pitting anytime soon. I'm not sure. They're still going on through right now. On lap 22 of this race and going through, it does not look like these guys are going to be pitting for the soft tires anytime soon. They're really trying to push these intermediates all the way to the end if they can. They don't want to risk taking a pit stop and losing their position. Of course, Capek and Milan, if they do both pit, they got a 46-second gap to Maddie there in P3, so they have enough time to do a pit stop and get it back in front. And that's going to work out pretty well for them. If they do have to do a pit stop, we'll have a look. As these intermediates seem to still be working for the two of them. I'm not sure what's happening. But cars on the dry tires seem to be struggling just a bit, because the track, of course, is still a little bit wet, I assume. Let's have a look on Beefy there with his soft tires. And once again, he's having some trouble getting on the power and getting this car going right now, because I think the tires are just cold. The tires are having some trouble getting up the temperature right now. The track does seem dry enough for them, but they're still having some trouble getting these tires up the temperature. The intermediate tires seem to be going still a bit faster right now, so maybe on lap 24, 25 could have been a better chance to switch, but at that point, I would assume the guys will try to just push the tires to the end of the race unless the tires start to give up on them. Unfortunate for Walker there being out of the race. I think something happened with him on those soft tires, which is why he got taken out of the race there. So a bit of a close gap, I guess, between Mr. Rage and Vintage here. Let's have a look on how that's working out. And two different tire compounds. Mr. Rage on the soft tires, and that's a Ferrari spun around there. Was that it? I'm not sure who that was, if that was Ace or someone else. Following on board with Vintage right now to see if he's able to get anywhere closer to Mr. Rage there for P10. And if the intermediates start to become useless on track, then those on the soft tires will have a bit of a better advantage. But we got just about 5.5 laps left in the race, so not a lot of time left in the session right now for our drivers to work with. We'll see how well they're getting through with that here. We got a few drivers out on front into the pits right now. Even guys on the soft tires are getting back into the pits. What's happening out front? Let's have a look right now. What's happening in the pit lane? And everyone going on to soft tires, so dry tires right now. So it seems like this is a point where definitely these tires should start to work and start to get up the temperature right now. Let's see if Beefy is able to get that going. And it seems like he does have some good pace going through. Has about a minute and 2 seconds to catch up to Milan and Capek out front, though. A significant gap. And these two are not pitting. They're still pushing on through on the side. Oh, they're definitely going to the pits right now. So we got Milan and Capek both into the pits right now. And Capek barely braking that car in time to avoid getting a penalty for speeding in the pit lane there right now. And it looks like both will be going on to the dry tires. And it's going to be a race to the finish for the final 4 laps of the Chinese Grand Prix between Capek and Milan here. Let's see how much more pace these guys are going to have as they get out back here on the soft tires right now. And luckily for both of them, they did not get held up into the pits, so they'll still be hanging each other and getting back out on track right now. And it's going to be definitely quite a bit of a race between the two of them now that they're on faster tires going through. So we're going to keep an eye and see how this battle plays through now. If that gap is still going to stay about 0.8 of a second, or if it's going to go down or go up, all depends on who's better on a dry track here right now. We're on board with Milan at the moment. Let's see how close he's able to get to Capek. But that track definitely seems to be dry enough for the tires right now. And Beefy is trying to gain some time off of these two as well as they took that pit stop there. And Beefy just did a fastest lap at 1 minute 42.9. So he's doing pretty well. Milan trying to keep up and keep as close as he can right now. Dean now doing the fastest lap, so that's going to switch around just a bit. Oh, and Milan almost losing the rear end off of that exit. He needs to be a bit careful here. Tries to get on the power a bit early and push on through to save a few tenths maybe if he can. We got Rourke there in the 11th. He's getting pretty close to the destroyer there for 10th place. We'll see how that battle goes on. So let's have a look at that right now actually and see where they are with that. As there goes Rourke trying to go around the outside right now of a destroyer and might not be able to do it. Has to pull it back and takes the other side. Goes around the outside once again. No, has to hold it back in 11 for now. And might have a good run getting down to the next turn. Let's have a look on how that works out. Is he going to try a little bit of a dive bomb on the inside? No, actually holds it on into 11 for now. Doesn't want to risk it. Taking it a bit slow and easy. We're of course, we're running out of laps right now. We're on lap 25 and going. And Destroyer is on the medium tires, not on the soft, so a bit slower tires, but still keeping it there in 10, so good job on him for doing that. And Roy pushing as hard as he can, trying to get up that position. And we got Milan getting very, very close to Capek out front now. It might be an overtake in the make going on. Let's see what's happening out front there, and if he's going to get that overtake done or not. And looks like he's really pushing for it, so it seems that Milan might have been having some trouble on a wet track. Now that it's dry, he has about 3 laps left to get his overtake done and take over the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix right down to the end if he can. But Capek led almost entirely this entire race. And he's going to try to continue to do that. I don't think he's going to give Milan an easy time getting by here right now. Milan using overtake as much as he can. Let's get on the overhead camera view and have a look at this. This is going to be an interesting battle for the race win here right now between these two. Because Milan has chased him around the track for the entire race and tried to keep gap within a second. He now has some DRS advantage to use on that back straight. So he just needs to keep close enough to get an overtake done as they get into the final section. Oh, and he tries going around the outside, a long way around. I don't think he gotten it up as yet. He's still holding back there in second for now. Let's get on board with Milan here as he gets a little bump to Capek out front. That knows that he's there. Has DRS on the pit straight and goes through to turn 1. Let's see if he's going to go side by side with him. Uses the slipstream just a bit. Goes up into P1 now. And let's see if Capek is going to be able to come back at him as they go on through. And looks like Milan has gotten that position up. He just needed the track to dry out. That was all for him. Capek trying to get back and get a gap and get by again, but not able to at the moment. Gap is about half a second still between them. So he's still keeping within the DRS range. Let's see if he's able to get back the position before we get to the end of the race right now. On lap 26 and going, so about 2.5 laps left to go before we finish off with the Chinese Grand Prix here. And Capek is going to be furious right now that he lost out on the lead of this race after letting for so many laps. I don't think he wants to give up that easily. He's still pushing on through right now to get back at Milan here. And that gap is still about half a second. Hopefully neither of them get a penalty here. I think they were probably going to be counting on each other getting a penalty. That's going to help the other one, or whoever does get a penalty, to just get a position here. We'll see how that works out. As Milan seems to be gaining a bit more time at the moment. He's trying to get a gap over a second to avoid Capek having the DRS advantage from him. Right, the Capek is going to have the DRS advantage on this back straight on the lap going through here. And let's see if he's able to get close enough. Not actually able to get close enough as yet. Gets right up to the rear. Barely misses the rear tires of Milan's car there. And is going to continue on through here right now. Pushes on through. And uses his DRS. Doesn't have a lot of ERS to use, so it's going to use whatever he has right now. And Milan swerving around like if he finished the race. It's not over yet, Milan. We still got a little bit more to go. A lap and a half more, a lap and a three-quarter more actually. And we got Capek trying to take the inside. I think Milan was teasing him for a second. They're just winding around the track in front. So still going to follow on with Capek here right now. Let's see if he's able to get his position back up. Gap is still right around half a second at that point where it's easy enough for him to get it back, but not getting an easy go at this right now. We got a little Eti and Dean there fighting it out for a P5 right now between the two of them. There's about 3 cars on the medium tires, everyone else running on these soft tires right now. And I think the closest possible battle we have here right now would be with Capek and Milan for the race lead right now. We also got Dean and Little Eti for 5th. We got Munich and Mr. Rage for, I think, 8th position there. And I think that's about it. That's under a second right now. We're trying to keep an eye on those battles as well. As they continue on through, as we're continuing on with lap 27 right now. We're going to be entering into the final lap of this race very, very soon. As Capek uses his DRS once again. Doesn't have absolutely no ERS to use right now. 0% on that. Let's see if Milan has any. Milan has just about 8%, so not a lot on his end either. And he does not have that DRS advantage that Capek is having right now. Beefy has gained about 20 seconds so far, trying to catch up, but he still has another 40 seconds to go, and we're about to go into lap 28 of this race. Capek has, and that is Capek making a bit of a mistake, and losing a bit of time to Milan right now. So he's now 1.9 seconds behind. So I think he just lost his chance of trying to get by Milan for the race lead once again, unless Milan makes some sort of mistake and is able to catch back up within the next half a lap's time and get by. We'll see how that works. So we got little Etty here in a P6 right now, trying to fight it out for Dean for P5, and let's see if he's able to get by on the back straight right now. Has the DRS advantage, has his overtake on, using as much as he can, takes the outside and might try to get around the long way around. I think he's forced by Dean to go on the outside there, and still has to hold it on into 6 right now. He's still pretty close by and might try down the pit straight as we continue on through. We got that's a back marker in front of them there right now. So once again he uses the DRS advantage going into turn 1. Let's see if he's going to have an inside go or have to take the racing line around. And he's trying to keep it as much on the inside as possible. And he's still right up to the rear of Dean's car as they go on through turn 1 for the final lap of the Chinese Grand Prix right now. We're going to have to switch on back in just a bit to Milan and Capek out front to see where those two are before they go across the line. Gap is about 2 seconds between them, so I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. Let's go back out in front here where these guys are right now as they are about to go around the final turn. So Milan run in second for most of the race. Capek run the lead for most of the race, and they go around now with Milan taking pole. Oh, he has a penalty, so this is going to change things up a bit. So he's going to lose the lead because of that penalty right now. And there goes Capek taking the race win. Pole position for him. Milan did go across the line first though, but still unfortunate for him that he got a penalty just on the last lap, and Capek takes away the race win. Milan finishes in second. We got Beefy coming around to finish in third place here right now, and he's definitely going to be getting that. He's about 42 seconds behind. So it was a great battle between Capek and Milan for the race win. Unfortunate for Milan, he got that penalty on the very last lap and lost out on the race win there. So Capek, good job on him for leading majority of the Chinese Grand Prix, and still fortunate for him to get the race win here. We got Beefy coming around. He is going to be going into third place on the grid. Gets a podium position. We got Maddie coming, taking fourth. We got Dean coming around right now with Lit Etty just behind him. They're going to take fifth and sixth respectively here right now. They do take that. And then we got Clarky coming around with a penalty there. And let's see how much penalty that is. And we'll switch that to penalties in just a bit there. Yes, there we go. So Clarky goes up into 7. Mulek takes 8th position. Mr. Rage takes 9. Destroyer takes, he's going to take 10th. So far we got Ace finishing in 18th. We're going to have Fatman probably finish right there in 17th position. Bray Train finishes 16. Ozzy finishes 15. Mikey finishes 14. We got Destroy just went across the line for 10th position there. Royk finishes in 11. Mr. Rage was 9th. Vintage now goes into 11. Roy goes down to 12. And where is Jay Kelly going to go? Last car to go across the line. Mikey takes 14. Jay Kelly goes across and is going to take 13th position. And that is it, guys, for the Chinese Grand Prix for PGL F1 Sunday League here. So quite an interesting race, especially with our two drivers out from between Capek and Milan there. Clarky takes driver of the day. Good job on him for getting that. Congratulations to Capek for getting the race win. Also for Milan for chasing him around for that amount of time, finishing in second place. And then we still got a Red Bull on the podium there. Okay, so there we go. Oh, and Milan takes the fastest lap of the race, so not too bad. Alright, so we have Capek taking pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix. Milan takes second, Beefy takes third, and we got Maddie takes fourth, Dean takes fifth, Little Etty takes sixth, Clarky takes seventh, and driver of the day. Mulek takes eighth, Mr. Rage takes ninth, Destroyed in 10th. We got Vintage finishing 11, Roy takes 12, Jay Kelly takes 13, Mikey takes 14, Ozzy takes 15, Bray Train takes 16, Fat Mamba takes 17. And then we got Ace taking 18, Walker taking 19, Ice Cream takes 20th position on the grid. And that is it, guys, for the Chinese Grand Prix here for PGL F1 Sunday League for round 3 of 23. Join us again for PGL. We're going to have the next race for them with the Wednesday League coming up on Wednesday. We have more streams between now and then as well, so join us on for all of that. It's basically every day we have something going on, guys. So subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Make sure to leave a like on the video as well. Do appreciate all of you guys joining on to watch the live stream with me. And it was a lot of fun doing the race, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. So thanks again to the league for allowing me to stream and whatnot. So really appreciate all you guys putting everything together, and yeah, just joining me onto the session as well. So that's it for the session today, guys. We'll see you guys again, I guess tomorrow for whatever my next race is going to be.